Welcome, coaches, to Marzano Model Screencast 1. During this session, we are going to look a little bit at the summary of the Marzano model. We're going to look at the focus teacher evaluation model and then really delve into a discussion of at least three observations and three pieces of communication for three specific guiding questions. First, take a little bit of an overview of what the Marzano model is based on. It is made out of four domains. Basically, the first domain is classroom strategies and behavior. It focuses on pedagogical strategies that have a direct link with student achievement. The second domain is planning and preparation. It focuses on planning and preparing for units of instructions and lessons within units. Domain 3 addresses deliberate practice, so reflecting on teaching. It encourages teacher self reflection in the areas of evaluating personal performance and developing and implementing a professional growth plan. And finally, domain 4 is the backdrop for the other domains and encourages a supportive culture. I provided you with this map as well that really delves into all the different elements within each domain. So, the first domain, which is the classroom strategies and behavior, has 60 elements. Actually, all 40 domains have 60, four domains have 60 elements, 41 within this domain, which are sequenced here under each heading. Then we move on to domain 2, 3, and 4, where domain 2 will house 8 elements, domain 3 will have 5, and 6 elements in domain 4 that are represented here. Marzano Focus Teacher Evaluation is also a very important overview as to how things intertwine within evaluating the teachers. There is a standard based planning that aligns directly with standards based instruction as well as conditions for learning. They are all intertwined into one big element of focus teacher evaluation. Let us move on directly into the guiding questions. My first guiding question is: what will I do to establish and communicate learning goals, track student progress, and celebrate success? If we want to look at what I see when I observe in the classroom, I need to see that the teacher has a learning goal and or target posted for the student reference. The learning goal or target clearly identifies knowledge or process aligned to the rigor of required standards. The teacher should make reference to the learning goal or target and have a scale that builds a progression of knowledge from simple to complex, as well as the teacher should relate uh, classroom activities to the scale throughout the lesson. These are the things that I'm looking at and observing that the teacher should have in the classroom that will follow within this guiding question. What I hear in communication that will indicate this evidence is what I see that the students are reflecting. So students can explain their learning goal and target for the lesson. Students can explain how their current activities relate to the learning goal. Students can explain the levels of performance from simple to complex. Student artifacts demonstrate students know the learning goals, and they demonstrate also that they identify a progression of knowledge. Moving on to my second guiding question: what will I do to help students effectively interact with new knowledge? So, what will I see when I observe this in the classroom? Teacher highlights critical content that portrays a clear progression of information related to the standard and goal. The teacher would or should, and that's something I have to observe, identify differences between the critical and non-critical content. Teacher continuously calls students' attention to accurate critical content. Teacher integrates cross-curricular connection to critical content as well as organizes students into appropriate groups to facilitate the processing of this new content. What will I hear in communication that it will indicate this evidence? Students can describe the level of importance of this critical content. Student can identify the critical content addressed in class. They can explain the difference between critical and non-critical. Formative data will show me as well that students attend to these critical content by questionings and artifacts. They can explain the progression, move and work within groups in organized purpose, and have an awareness of the power of interpretation. Finally, asking the third guiding question: what will I do to help students generate and test hypotheses about new knowledge? So, what will I see when I observe this in the classroom? I see teacher establishing the need to generate and test hypotheses for short or long-term tasks. Teacher organizing students into groups for the expressed purpose of problem solving, decision making, experimenting, or investigating. Teacher provides guidance on one or more cognitive skill appropriate for the lesson, and teacher facilitates students in generating their own idea or group task that require to generate and test hypotheses by generating conclusion, identifying common logic errors, present and support claim, and navigate digital resources. How and what will I hear in communication that will indicate evidence? Students describe the importance of generating and testing hypotheses. Students explain how groups support their learning. Students use group activities, interact in explicit ways, actively ask and answer questions. They add their perspective to discussions and move and work within groups with an organized purpose. I hope these three guiding questions and the general summary of Marzano